Hello, dear souls. Welcome again to another episode of Soul Talk Tarot. As usual, I'm Korean Tarot Master Jeong. I believe that when things get tough, you should look ahead. If you only worry about tomorrow or next month, you can't progress. So shall we ask for some assistance from our tarot cards to help us see further? The topic of this video is, what will happen to me in the next 3 years? I'm sure you have something you want to achieve in the next 3 years, right? From now, please think about the process and the results as if you were drawing the best picture in your mind. The more specific, the more the tarot reads. I'll give you a moment. I'll draw cards with a sincere focus on what will happen in the next 3 years, based on the resonance generated from the wave energy of your thoughts. This will be our pile. I've completed the selection. You chose one out of 5 piles. After your choice, I'll show you the randomly assigned numbers. Are you done? 2, 4, 5, 3, 1. Now, click on the timeline in the pinned comment to watch the video corresponding to the number you've selected. Let your journey begin. For those of you who chose pile 1, this card represents the most significant change over the next 3 years. The 10 of Cups card has appeared. If we are talking about the most significant change for you over the next 3 years, it suggests the emergence of someone in your life with whom you can build a family-like connection. If you are currently unmarried, you may even get married within this time frame. For those who already have a family, it could signify the birth of a child. Or if you say, our children are all grown up now, then this means that the family may be given conditions to reunite as a family and live together in harmony. If you look at it now, there are 10 golden cups with a rainbow underneath, and parents and children are having a great time playing together. This is the biggest change that will happen in the next 3 years. Someone will come into your life who can be like family or become family. If we interpret this in terms of finances, it means that you will have a job or your own business that you can work in for a long time. This is because the number 10 is a number of completion. It represents a state of completion. Furthermore, the cups in the card represent human relationships are also complete. When it comes to finances, having human relationships completed means having a stable job, business, or shop. Anyway, the appearance of this card suggests that in terms of human relationships, a family is formed. Financially, a stable foundation for long-term work or business will be established over the next 3 years. That's one way to look at it. Then, during the 3-year period, year 1, year 2, year 3, it will progress year by year. Let's take a look at how the flow might unfold. Year 1, year 2, and year 3. In some cases, everything may be achieved within the first year. For those who chose the first pile, let's take a look at the flow of events. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the World card has appeared, and the flow looks incredibly positive. As a tarot master, I interpret this as a beautiful outcome. In the first year, which means the next year from now, you'll be sketching things out in your mind. It's not the completed stage, but rather planning. If this relates to a romantic relationship, it suggests getting to know each other, dating, but not necessarily discussing marriage at this point. If you think about your job or business during the first year from now, you'll likely be in a phase where you're working and perhaps contemplating that your current job could be a lifelong one. Or if you have a business, you might see it as something you'll continue for the foreseeable future. It's a guide that suggests a level of certainty in your career path or business direction within the next year. Moving on to the second year, you'll find yourself holding scales. This means you have choices. You'll be making more specific decisions, like choosing between option A and option B. If during the first year, you were contemplating whether to continue with your job or if it's the right career for you, now in the second year, you'll be facing two distinct choices like A and B. It's a period of decision making where you'll need to pick one of the two. If you think about relationships, in this case, during the second year, you'll start thinking about whether to marry this person or not. And if you decide to get married, you'll begin considering when to do it more specifically. Fortunately, you are holding the scale, so you have the authority to choose. However, it doesn't end here. In the third year, the World card appears. The World card is the final destination card in tarot, signifying the creation of your own world. Creating your own world, especially in relationships, means marriage. It represents home and family. So for you, the period from now until the end of the first year, and even up to the first year from now, may be a bit transitional. You might have many thoughts, gain more experiences, and potentially go through some uncertainty. Then, from the second year onwards, you'll develop clear criteria for what you should do and make a choice between two options. Finally, in the third year, you'll make that decision and tie the knot, creating your own world. The positive aspect is that in the third year, you will firmly establish yourself. This applies to various aspects of human relationships, emotions, finances, and family matters. Now, I'll provide you some advice with cards. This is card 1 and card 2. Please select one. I'll give you a moment. You've made your choice, right? For those of you who chose the first card, the Queen of Swords card has appeared. This card represents a resolute decision, and in this case, it signifies a decision related to separation. Separation may involve parting ways with individuals who may not be beneficial for your future relationships or family life, especially those who could potentially hinder your efforts to build a stable family or a successful business. It's crucial to decisively cut ties with such individuals within the next year to remove potential obstacles and pave the way for smoother progress in your life. That way, you will gradually become more specific in your goals, and obstacles will diminish. You should wield the sword during the coming year. You must cut ties with individuals who cause harm or hinder your family or business ventures. And the second card, the sword-pierced heart card, also signifies separation. So, within the next year, you should sever ties with harmful relationships, even though it may bring you pain, and you should overcome it in due time. But now I can see that you, with the Queen of Swords card and the sword-pierced heart card, signifies painful wounds and separation. So at this moment, it seems like you might have been emotionally hurt by someone. You'll need to recover from that within the next year, sort things out within yourself, and of course, address and tidy up the actual relationships. When your thoughts are organized, only true family or people who can stay with you for a long time, like family, will remain around you. So for those who chose pile 1, the destination of the events that will unfold over the next 3 years is to make sure that only people who can truly stay with you for a long time, like family, remain in your life. That seems to be the important focus for the next 3 years. Okay, let's wrap up. If this story resonates with your soul, please subscribe and like. For those of you who chose card 2, this card represents the most significant change that will occur over the next 3 years. The card drawn is the Three of Wands. To provide some context for this card's history, there was a man born on a distant island. However, when he was young, he came over to this side of the island. He prospered here and became wealthy. But now, as he looks back at the island where he was originally born, he longs to go there someday. Given the background, if I try to infer what the biggest change over the next 3 years will be, it seems that as you achieve a certain level of accomplishment and satisfaction in what you are currently doing, you will begin to look at what you really want to do and aspire to go to the place you've longed for. So around 3 years from now, you will have built a foundation, and this will mean pursuing what you truly wanted to do. Also, this card represents crossing water, which means that around 3 years from now, if you want to go abroad to work or live abroad, in that case, in the 3rd year, which is 3 years from now, you will be trying or looking forward to it. So, for the next 3 years, it's a phase where you endure and build up to do what you really want. It's a phase of saving money, gaining experience, or building a career. You can see it that way. Sure, let's take a look at the changes year by year for the next 3 years. This is for the 1st year, then the 2nd year, and finally the 3rd year. Looking at the flow from the present to 1 year later. For the 1st year, the Magician card came up. This indicates that you should fully utilize your talents and abilities, and there will be opportunities to do so. In this case, you might also make money. You're not starting a business, but rather using your abilities, so the income may not be extremely high. It can be seen as earned income, meaning that the more you work, the more money you make. If you say, I'm starting something new, meaning the Magician card could indicate that you're acquiring new skills. In this case, you might not be the magician, but someone who learns from a magician. For instance, you spend a year learning specific skills from someone else. Interpretation can vary depending on your personal situation, so apply it in a way that fits your circumstances. If you're already experienced and skilled, your abilities will shine in the coming year. If you're starting something new, you may meet a mentor or expert who helps you learn and improve your skills in the next year. So let's take a look at what it will be like in 2 years. It's 2 years later now. The Page of Swords card has appeared. It means starting something new. So during the 1st year, you displayed your abilities. But in the 2nd year, there's a higher chance of starting something similar, but possibly your own. You can see it this way. If you're an expert, and you spent a year working as a freelancer or in your job, building up your experience, then from the 2nd year onwards, there's a chance you'll start your own thing, something of your own, starting from the 2nd year. Then it's the 3rd year. If you look, there are 9 cups, and in front of them, someone is sitting comfortably. It looks relaxed. It seems like there is financial peace of mind for the next step. You can maintain it as it is after 3 years. But what's a bit regrettable is that there are 9 cups. If there were 10, it would be complete. So 9 means it's like getting a 90 out of 100. So as I mentioned, the biggest change in the next 3 years will be in a field where you accumulate experience or money. And you will choose to work on something you really want to do, possibly related to international issues. What if you don't make a choice after 3 years? In that case, you'll continue living comfortably in a 90% state. So for the next 12 years, the first year from now will be quite busy, either using your abilities or learning new things. Then in the second year, you'll be even busier because you start to work on your own. From the third year onwards, you'll have a bit more leisure. You can see events unfolding like this. I'll draw a guidance card for you. This is the first one. And here's the second one. You can choose one of them. It'll give you a moment. Have you made your choice? For those who chose the first card, the Ace of Cups card has appeared. Right now, the water is overflowing, and someone is extending their hand from the sky. This means that people will offer you help and support. So there will be many people around you who can offer help, and it's not because they want something in return. The overflowing water symbolizes human charm, and you will genuinely want to help these people out of kindness, not with any ulterior motives. In other words, you will have many good people around you. So what should you do? You should be open to receiving the help, knowledge, and skills of these people. Water, in the sense here, overflows and either flows away or seeps is gone. So, you need to naturally accept the overflowing opportunities and people's goodwill. There are many good people around you. For those who chose the second card, this card is in complete contrast to the first one. It signifies walking your own path. While the assistance and guidance of others may be important, ultimately, making your own decisions and following your unique journey is the right course of action. It might sometimes feel like a solitary journey, but it's about taking one step at a time. By doing so, as you move forward, you will begin to accumulate the necessary career and financial resources to advance to the next level in your life. And this will become evident in the 3-year time frame. The story for those who chose pile 2 ends here. If this story resonated with your soul, please like and subscribe. Thank you. For those who chose pile 3, this card reveals the most significant changes that will occur over the next 3 years. The Chariot card, number 7, has appeared. Firstly, it suggests that there will be substantial changes in your professional life, rather than in areas like romance or family relationships. The Chariot card is more closely associated with work, whether it's related to your business, job. However, what does the Chariot card feel like? It's not about preparing and waiting. It's about charging forward. This card symbolizes something like a gladiator or a soldier. It's like a commander leading the way and saying, "Follow me." So for the next 3 years, you are likely to be very busy because there's a high possibility that you'll be in your prime, especially in your professional life. The more you push forward, the more you'll accumulate experience, earn money, and build your skills. However, it seems like you'll be charging ahead on your own rather than working closely with others. The Chariot card represents charging ahead on your own, not necessarily in close collaboration with others. Even if you have some support or assistance, it won't be an equal or hierarchical relationship. If it were a hierarchical relationship, you'd see cards like the Emperor or the Hierophant above, indicating that there's an authoritative figure whose guidance you should follow. However, in this context, it's more about organizations like companies or governments rather than individual people. So, with the Chariot card appearing, it indicates that over the next 3 years, there will be significant progress and growth in your career or job-related aspects, and it's a time for development and advancement. Financially, of course, with the appearance of the Chariot card, it signifies that you will be earning money. Because, in career-related aspects, there's usually no reason to work so hard if there's no financial gain involved. Therefore, The Chariot card suggests that you can earn a significant amount of money as you make efforts and progress in your career or job. Going to look at the changes over the next 3 years, breaking it down year by year. This is for 1 year from now, then 2 years from now, and finally 3 years from now. For the next year, the Nine of Wands card has appeared. There's a lot of work, so it can be physically tiring and exhausting right now. However, you're holding on. How about this person you see? They're persevering. Tying the bandage signifies the difficulty, but they're determined not to break down. So for the next year, you might be working hard, and there will be many times when you feel tired. It could be happening even now. But remember, not breaking down and persevering is crucial. Even if you can't move forward right now, not giving up or stepping back, not giving you a menace is an achievement in itself. So if you're in such a situation, give yourself a pat on the back. In the second year, there will be significant changes. As you can see from the Tower card, what you've been doing so far will undergo a major transformation. That's why I mentioned earlier that you need to hold on during the first year, because in the second year, there will be significant changes. Changes here refer to luck, and given the current flow, there's a higher likelihood that it will be positive luck. This is for the third year. As you can see, there are 8 cups representing wealth, and they belong to you now. Then, you cross the path and move forward. This card signifies moving or crossing water, which could mean going abroad or to a foreign place. When we look at the overall flow in the next year, you might face some challenges, but the second year will bring significant changes. It will be busier, and then in the third year, you'll have some achievements as you move forward on your own path with these 8 cups. At this level, typically, when you've achieved a certain level of success domestically, you might consider expanding further. This could mean going abroad for international expansion or expanding to another city within the same country. So 3 years from now, there's a possibility that you may consider moving to a different region or country for the sake of pursuing something even better. I'll draw a piece of advice card for you. This is the first one, and this is the second one. You can choose either one, and I'll give you some guidance. It will give you a moment. For those who chose the first card, the Queen of Wands card has appeared. This card signifies an overflow of energy. It's like a volcano, but this abundant energy can be somewhat scattered. You might be busy, but it could be inefficient or even meddlesome. The advice here is to reduce such tendencies. It's better not to waste your energy on things that don't require your attention, especially when you're already facing a challenging day. There's no need to expend your energy on tasks or situations where your involvement won't make a significant impact or isn't essential. Now, let's take a look at the second card, the Family card. Even if you're busy, as I mentioned earlier, since you're busy, make sure to take care of your family, even if it's hectic and chaotic. Taking care of your family means, first and foremost, taking care of your health. Then secondly, make an effort to spend time with your family. Even if it's just once a week, have a meal together, or, if it's your parents, give them a call at least once or twice a week. So, even if you're busy, make sure to take care of your family and loved ones over the next 3 years. It might be a bit challenging, but it's something you can manage if you put in the effort. A simple phone call won't be too difficult, and you can have a meal at home once a week. Even for busy individuals, taking care of family and home life is important. The story for those who chose pile 3 ends here. If this story resonated with your soul, please like and subscribe. Thank you. For those who chose 4, This card represents the most significant change over the next 3 years. The Nine of Coins card has appeared, which is fortunate and indicates financial stability. So if you are currently facing financial difficulties or challenges, this card suggests that over the course of the next 3 years, you will find financial comfort and abundance. The card depicts 9 gold coins and a luxurious robe with a falcon, a leisure activity that only the wealthiest in medieval Europe could afford. Falconry symbolizes wealth. Furthermore, the grapes and abundance in the background symbolize fruitful outcomes. So, over the next 3 years, you can expect to earn money, accumulate wealth, and possibly engage in investments or financial strategies. Also, you may gain some peace of mind. However, one potential downside of this card is the sense of being alone. If you wish to have more people around, or are hoping to meet a significant other in the next 3 years, this card may not provide much insight into those aspects of your life. If you are seeking material stability and hope to find human connections or love along the way, it's possible, but not definitively indicated by this card. It suggests that for matters related to love and relationships, further clarification through additional cards might be needed to determine whether it's in the cards for you. In any case, it does indicate the potential for material stability. I'm going to draw 3 cards for each year. From now, for the next year, then 2 years later, and finally 3 years from now, I'll use these cards to tell you the flow of events that will happen over the next 3 years. For the next year, the King of Swords card has come up. It means that in your current job or field, you will develop expertise and may rise to a higher position, such as a manager, director, or even become the owner or founder of your own business. The King card represents leadership roles, such as being a CEO, president, or having a significant position in a company or starting your own business. The second card represents the second year. This indicates a period of movement. This could mean a change in your job or workplace, a change in your location, or even a move to a different country. Since it's the card of crossing water, it can also signify going abroad. During this year, you might establish yourself in terms of career expertise, position, or business, which could lead to a job change, relocation, or even receiving offers from other companies. So in the second year, there is a theme of movement, whether in your job or home, and it could also involve international opportunities or assignments. This is the third one, and it's from the third year. The fifth wand card has appeared, and during this time, I probably have accumulated quite a few tasks or work-related things, so it seems like I'll be a bit busy handling those. During the 3 years, the most significant change is the Nine of Pentacles. What does this mean? Financially, there can be stability, and emotionally, there can be peace. However, in terms of work or career, it may still be somewhat busy even up to this point. Here, you can see this tree here refers to work. It means that this work is all about money. Within tarot cards, we can interpret not only by looking at each individual card, but by connecting multiple cards to create a story. In this case, having 9 pentacles and 5 trees could mean that in 3 years, you'll have the ability to choose your work. This means that you won't necessarily be overwhelmed. Instead, you'll have the option to select what you want to do. You can decide. That's why there are 9 pentacles, signifying that the most significant change is that in 3 years, you'll have the ability to control your time and work. For example, you might choose to work only 2 days a week. You have the freedom to make such choices. Now, I'll draw some advice cards. You choose one of these 2 cards. I'll give you a moment. Have you made your choice? For those who chose the first card, Strength, the patience card has appeared. So don't have an impatient heart. Everything will naturally come to pass according to the flow of time. However, time follows a certain order. You know what I mean. Like wishing for autumn to come quickly. But after spring comes summer, and you can't skip summer to get to autumn. There's an order to things. So if you're impatient and try to skip that order, it's not a good idea. For those who chose the second card, the Queen of Cups card has appeared. As I mentioned earlier, you may have found some stability in your work or career and that you have some control over your time and choices. However, when it comes to love, it might be less clear. I mentioned that you're not sure about love. But for those who chose pile 4 and then the second card, it's possible that love can also be fulfilled. This is because the Queen of Cups card represents the Queen of Water, which is associated with emotional energy. It's a card of love. So, in addition to material aspects, if you have the desire to meet someone you love within the next 3 years, not only material, but also love can be realized. I'd like to leave you with this good news. So that concludes the story for those who chose number 4. If this reading resonated with you, please subscribe and like. Thank you. For those who chose number 5, this card is the one that will first reveal what the most significant change will be over the next 3 years. The card you've drawn is the Hanged Man or Martyr card. It typically represents a man hanging upside down and can symbolize figures like Saint Peter or the crucifixion of Jesus. In the context of your reading, this card signifies unwavering determination and a steadfast commitment to your intentions. When you look closely, you can see a halo or aura behind this person. This indicates that when a card like this appears, it usually suggests that the person is in a position of authority or leadership. It reflects a strong sense of self-assurance and clarity of values. So during these 3 years, you can confidently say that this job or this business could become your lifelong career or work. In other words, it means that you will discover that during these 3 years, this card is very significant. Finding something like this level of calling or purpose is a great blessing in life. These days, it seems like people, even those in their 60s, often ponder what makes them happy and what kind of work they should do. The reason is that nowadays, even people over 60 are usually very energetic, with energy levels comparable to those in their 40s. So they continue to think about what work they should do and what kind of work they can do. This is something that people typically think about in their 20s. However, over the next 3 years, there will be something that will give you the confidence that you can do this job until the end of your life. This is a very blessed card. So let's take a look at which year in the coming years you will discover and find such an endeavor. This is for year 1. This is for year 2. And this is for year 3. This card represents the first year from now. It shows children playing make-believe. This means that you may think things are okay, and you might even enjoy what you're doing. But it's at a level similar to make-believe play, so it doesn't come with 100% certainty. It's more about enjoying it and feeling okay rather than having a clear vision or absolute certainty. During the first year, it's advised not to rush into full confidence or become too complacent about what you're doing. The second card, the Devil card, is a very powerful card. As the name suggests, it represents the devil and carries strong energy. When this card appears, it brings a very intense and forceful feeling, almost like a sudden jolt to your mind. So if the first year was about make-believe play, from the second year onward, it's like encountering the Devil card, which is quite intense. This card might make you feel like it has come into your life for a reason, and it brings very positive energy that hits you strongly. It's an energy that comes suddenly, so you might not see it coming until it arrives. Therefore, during the first year, consider it a warm-up period. Because when the devil card appears, it can reset everything. This is a depiction of your state 3 years from now. So 3 years from now, the temperance card appears. What this means is that when the devil card appeared, you may have felt scattered. However, 3 years from now, you will be in a position to find balance and regain your center as you make choices. If you look closely, the foot in contact with the water represents emotions, the foot on the ground represents rationality, and the mixing of warm and cold water symbolizes the balance of opposites. This is a card of moderation and balance, indicating that 3 years from now, you will be able to make decisions and judgments while finding your center. As for what specific decisions or directions you'll take 3 years from now, it's uncertain at this point because it can vary depending on what unfolds during the period when the devil card is in play. So let's take a look at what kind of energy the devil card represents in the advice cards. You can choose one of them, and I'll give you some insights. Please take a moment to decide. You've made your choice. For those who chose the first card, it represents lingering attachments or regrets. It's like having 5 keys, but wanting 2 more before leaving. While it's labeled as greed, it now signifies strong lingering attachments. The devil card suggests that something or someone you strongly clung to, whether it's related to work, a person, or a company, will re-enter your life 2 years from now, from the current moment. If we interpret this in terms of a romantic context, it could mean that someone you truly, deeply loved but couldn't forget will come back into your life as a strong connection 2 years from now. So this card likely relates to something or someone that comes to mind as I am talking about it, and this person or situation will unexpectedly re-enter your life in 2 years. This gives you some foresight into what to expect. For those who chose the second card, the love card has appeared. Love is love, so you will meet someone you truly loved again in 2 years. You can also see it this way. I already have a family, I'm married, and so on. It's unrelated to romantic love. In that case, this love could represent something you've always wanted to do or a job you've wanted. So think of it as what you've wanted coming to you 2 years from now. To summarize again, for the next year, it's just a warming up phase. It's a time for you to wait for what you originally wanted to do or the person you wanted to meet. Then, unexpectedly in 2 years, a strong connection will be established with that person or situation. After that, depending on how you establish relationships and proceed with your work at that time, you will make a decision 3 years from now, whether to go all in for a lifetime or make some adjustments. For those of you who chose card 5, your story ends here. If this story has resonated with your soul, please subscribe and like. Dear souls, I believe that 3 years is enough time for your life to transform completely, turning into a life that is 180 degrees different from what it is now. I pray that you experience nothing but happiness during these 3 years.